We went down and we talked to the manager. We said, listen, we understand that you are not, treating everybody equally. He said, oh no, I desegregated my lunch counters. We say, well, what about your staff people? I done told all the waitress and everybody else to serve black folks. So we got tired of his procrastinating and other kind of things he was talking about. We said, you see that white fellow sitting over there? Because on the counter there was a white fellow sitting over there when we went to see him. I said, he's with us. He told us everything you did. That's why we're down here. He just couldn't believe that a white person, would tell on him. Okay. So we said, I'm this guy. If you'd notice, and you have to notice all the details, the mayor twisted around and instead of saying, was it wrong to discriminate? No, he turned around and said, was it right to integrate? Do you get my point?
Yes.
It's the way you frame the question, and that's the kind of answer.
We ended up in litigation, and as a result of that, we developed what we call the Bridging the Gap Plan, which is a 6-pronged plan that deals with one, graduation rate, student achievement, advanced coursework. What I mean is that challenging our kids to not just take remedial and basic classes, but maximize their potential by getting to those advanced courses, becoming gifted students. Okay, the other thing is the discipline. Discipline is one of the main reasons why kids end up in that pipeline to prison. Reducing the suspension rate. But what I say, reducing the suspension rate and keeping our kids in school is only half the problem, half the goal. The other goal is that now that they're in school, we got to teach them.
Right.
Because if you just keep them in school and not teach them, you might as well suspend them. And the other one is reducing the number of kids that are identified as emotionally disturbed, behavior disorder, ESC program, exceptional school education program, where we find a high number of black young men dumped into those programs, And the last one is role models, minority hiring. We need more black teachers. But what I tell people all the time is that if you look at the pipeline to become a teacher, it's very slim because the graduation rate is low. Then you're not going to have teachers come out of the pipeline because in order to become a teacher, you have to go to college. In order to go to college, you have to graduate. Right. So the pipeline to becoming a teacher, we need to make sure that there are young black men and young black women that are graduating from high school and see the need to become educators if we're going to increase the number of black teachers in our school. So those are the 6 areas that we're focusing on.
That's great context. So now, how might the Kingian approach and principles impact as a collaborator of the school district working on those priorities in terms of the achievement gap and reducing the pipeline?
That's a perfect example, and I'd be happy to respond to this. And that is, how does Kingian nonviolence apply to that particular problem? Because Kingian nonviolence is designed to not only recognize problems, but to actually bring about change. That's what Martin Luther King was about.
Exactly.
He didn't just stand up making speeches how bad it is. Okay? He was on the ground working on a strategy that was foolproof. So the first thing you have to do, like my brother here is doing, okay, I'm sure, I can tell. Okay, I have intuition. Okay?
Amen.
I can tell what he's doing. All right? And why should nod his head? Okay.
He's working hard. He's working hard. I can
The first
attest to
thing
that.
you have to do is your research, and that is why are these things happening? So he's already connected the fact that these children who are considered underachievers,
Right.
there's a relationship between the teachers, number one, okay? And we're talking about teachers who care about the children. when I moved from Tampa, Florida, after the war, okay, World War II, that is, and my parents moved north because they needed jobs. Because my father was a carpenter on the ships, okay, the captain's ship, you know, in his headquarters. And he couldn't find a job where he wanted to. He worked at the furniture store. But we moved north, okay? And my father learned how to repair radios and TVs and all that because his brother was there in Philadelphia. I got there in the 4th grade and they set me back a half year. It was Mrs. Ward, a black teacher, who took me home on Saturdays to her house and brought me up to my grade level. That was a teacher who cared. Now, it created a problem because I was so good in English. They asked me to be the student commencement speaker at my elementary graduation.
Okay.
One who'd been set back in the 4th grade, given the commencement in the 6th grade. And it was kind of bad because Betsy White had prepared for that, and Betsy didn't get the
She felt it title. Okay.
I felt sorry, but you know, I even remember my speech.
What was your topic?
Topic was living and working together.
Living and working together.
So that's what I've been about.
You've been about all your life.
Right, okay.
So let me ask you.
So the point I wanted to make is that the research is important to understand what that student experience has been. And he's got to get the teachers that he needs to do that, and they have to be trained, okay? Now, the problem is this, and they're all related and connected, they're not separated. That's the point he's making. 5 out of every 7 children who have parents in jail will go to jail. 5 of them out of every 7. That's what the statistics show. So what you're doing already is looking for the next generation of folks who are going to fill the jail, if their parents are in jail. So one of the things they need is what we call a Godfathers program. We need some former teachers, we need some former policemen, we need deacons, we need folks, musicians. We need a group of black men who have been successful to be godfathers, because otherwise these children will not have anybody, okay, that they can look up to as godfathers. Now, if
To
we
be
were
role
able
models.
to be role models to help them with their homework, children who have men in their lives do better in math. Okay?
Absolutely.
If you are a musician, you don't have any trouble with math. Because you're talking about language.
Yeah.
Okay?
And beats, that's right.
That's right.
Time.
You understand that. That's right. So my point is, we must look at it as a total system in our communities. They will focus on an approach and a strategy to deal with the problem. They're not individual, separate problems. They're all related. Okay, and that's what families are for. So we have to become alternate families to these children who need help. Okay? And my point is, the children have somebody to look up to, all right? But if your daddy in jail,
cares for you.
exactly, cares
Provides
for you,
concern and love.
with you on the weekend, Saturdays. And I'm not talking about necessarily adopting somebody or whatever. If you had about 25 men, then you got 5 different weeks of work. Because each weekend, or each week, 5 men could be the godfathers for that week to take care of any problem that come up with the kids.
Rotate responsibility.
Exactly. And that means it's not a great burden on you.
Yeah.
Because some people say, well, I won't mind being there, but hey, that's too much work for me. So my point is, put together a system that's workable.
Right.
They have to go to church, number one. Okay? That'd be one thing, because that'd be another school they go into.
A place of worship.
Exactly, a place of worship.
Yeah.
My English teacher was also my Sunday school teacher. So I had her 6 days a week.
Well, let me ask you a question here, because I want to get Dr. Brinson in to help kind of flush this out. One of the things that you've been faced to dealing with is a lack of parental involvement. Right? And so, how is that going? How the efforts to have more accessibility and digital access to training and engagement with parents, are we seeing improvement in that area? Because that leads to, I'm going to set you up for my next question that this will build into, is yes, we do need public policy from the legislature and the state and the school district, but what the issue of personal accountability, and I think parenting comes with that, and our children are struggling with a lack therefore.
Well, let me piggyback on what Mr. Lafayette said in terms of it takes a village. You know, a lot of times we try to put too much pressure and responsibility on the parent who fell short when they come to obtain their education. You know, so they're struggling.
Their education or the children's education?
Their education.
Okay.
You know, you got a lot of parents who were kicked out of school. You got a lot of parents who dropped out of school. So you're talking about an uneducated parent trying to put their child on the right track alone. They can't do it alone. What I think that our children and our parents need is what I call a triangle of hope. It starts with the parent, the guardian. Then you have to have a community working together for the child. Not just a church, but a community. And then you have the third leg is the school. So you're talking about the family, the community, and the school working together. And there's a fourth piece, and I always call
that wouldn't be a triangle though.
No. When you look at a triangle and you put it to my face, who do you see? You see the child.
Yeah, okay.
You see, we have to empower the child to take some responsibility as well. So if you got a triangle of hope, focus on the child who's in the middle and the center.
Okay.
You will see progress. Because I asked you this question. How did you make it out?
Each of us has to evaluate that question.
But how did you make it out?
Yeah.
When you look at your triangle, which side did you not have? Did you not have a parent home? Did you not have a community that cared? Did you not have a school that cared? I had all three. Okay, we were poor, but I had all three. What I'm saying is that if you look at a child, and if they do not have all three sides, that's a child at risk. Because if you're just a family without a community, but you had a strong school, you can make it. If you're a family without a school, but you have a strong community, that community will hold that school system accountable. You have to have a support system in order to deal with the struggles that our children have that we didn't have. Because if we didn't have to worry about social media, you see, if it wasn't outside our door, we didn't see it.
Yeah, times have changed.
Yeah, but times have changed. Yeah. So we have to give them that strong structured system. And in terms of parents, I always tell the school system, say, well, we need more parental support. Parents ask all the time, what do you want me to do? Okay, I don't know the math.
Gotta answer that question.
I don't know the English. But the one thing I want parents to do is to get their children ready for school each and every day. You see, get them up on time.
Encourage them.
Feed them if you can feed them.
Yeah.
If you can't feed them, make sure they get to the lunchroom on time so they can. Make sure that they're bringing the baggage. Make sure you tell them that you love them before they leave. Even though you're mad with them, you know, stroke them before they walk out the door. If they're having problems, call the school. Student readiness or unreadiness is our biggest challenge.
Right.
Because when students are ready to learn, great teachers will show up. But you have to have our students ready to learn. There's not a teacher on this planet that's not willing to teach a child